All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of How Do I Do This Anyways? Today's topic of conversation is how you're going to print out or make and print out an 11 by 17 set of drawings. So, before in another video, we talked about the 22 inch by 34 inch that we could send out for printing. Now we can talk about the in house 11 by 17 drawings that we can do. The advantage of the 11 by 17s is that we can actually do them immediately. We don't have to send them out of off site, and we can go pick them up from the copier as long as you know how to print. So let's go ahead and get started with doing this. Again, we're going to go ahead and start with a new drawing. Do not mix the two sizes, okay? That will mess things up. So go ahead, and if you've got some ANSI D size ones, that's great. Keep those PDFs and those files separate from these 11 by 17 ones, okay? So I'm going to start a new drawing, and it pops up with our typical ANSI size D paper. I'm going to edit the sheet. So I'm going to right click on this and say edit sheet. And I'm just going to tell it what size paper I want. I want this to be ANSI B, which is 11 by 17. And then I'm going to click OK. And obviously some stuff changed. So the first thing I want to do in order to save some space, I'm going to delete the title block. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one back in. But I want to add in the ANSI A because that pulls in my name, and I can put any title that I want in here just by using my annotations and all that. I'll get to that in a minute. Now, let's go ahead and set our first projected view or our first view. I'm going to use a base view because that's what you have to do first. And I'm just going to drop in a base view of this thing. Now, I want a 1-to-1 ratio so it's easier for me to make the pieces. But obviously, that view does not fit on 11 by 17. That view does, though. Okay, so what I can do is click OK here and have that view printed out on an 11 by 17 piece of paper. Okay, now if you want to, I would suggest doing it. Create a text box, tell it what it is. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and increase my font size. End view. Okay. Cool. Now, what I want to do now, I want to do some more because I've got some structure that I want to get some parts going for. So I'm going to go ahead and click New Sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and click Base View again. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, and I'm going to have to start playing with some scaling things. So I can't get a 1-to-1 of that whole bridge. So I'm going to keep a small size so that way I can drag it down here. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a detail view. I know that I have this repeating pattern over and over again. So I'm just going to create a detail of that. Okay. I'm going to click in the center of the pattern. I'm going to drag this circle out. Okay. And I'm going to click when it's the size I want it. Now, it pops up with this 0.29 to 1. I want it to be 1-to-1 because I want to manufacture this. And obviously it's way too large for the page, but I'm going to set it there anyways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this circle here and I'm going to shrink this down until I can kind of maneuver it onto the page, and it's showing me enough of the details that I can manufacture my pieces. I can start cutting and sanding these pieces so they're the right shape, so that way I can assemble them once we actually have the other drawings in our hands, and it's easier to lay them out as a template. So you can do as many sheets of this as you want within reason. Try and limit it to like 5, but you can go ahead and make as many copies as you need. Now, the way you get this to actually print out correctly, that's where the fun starts. So we're going to go ahead and first off, we're going to save this. Okay. I'm going to call this Warren Assembly 2D, actually 2E 11 by 17. So that way I know easily that this is the 11 by 17 file. And name pops up here. Cool, we're good to go. Now I need to go ahead and say File. And I want to print this. And I want to print this as a PDF. I want to print all of the sheets again. I want it to be a one-to-one model. And I need to click this Properties. And now I need to come here to the Adobe size paper. And I need to click this 11 by 17. Okay. When I click that, I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to click OK again. And it asks me where I want to save it. You should save this in whatever project folder you've been saving your work in. Now, mine gives me a preview of it immediately by opening Adobe Acrobat. I would suggest you do the same. Preview your file in Adobe Acrobat. You want to click Document Properties, and you want to make sure that it's popping up with this 17 and 11 page size. Okay. So then what ends up happening is that when you send this to the copier will automatically select the correct size piece of paper. Okay. So we're just going to click OK here. And we're going to go ahead and you should, for this year, you should email your print to the email server as an attachment. So just attach this whole PDF to the email. In other years, they might change it from that, but that's how we do it right now. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Take care.